Today, I want to share with you a handful of tips that we have learned along the way that took us from RVing like newbies to being able to RV like a pro. That's not to say that we don't make mistakes anymore. We make mistakes all the time. If you're not making mistakes, you're probably not RVing or you're not being honest, one of those two. But the things on this list can really be a game changer so that you're not stressed out and you can just enjoy that RVing experience even more. Let's get into it. So the first one on the list is the walk around before and after. The before one, to make sure that your stairs are going to be able to come down, that the slides are going to be able to open up, that if you have hookups that you're going to be able to connect up, you're not too far away, that your awning is going to be able to open up. All the things that you want to use are going to be able to work. And then when you're leaving, make sure that you got everything from around the RV site and that everything is buttoned up and put away. So two key elements to our walkarounds. For the one before we set up, I always have this tape measure right in the door of the truck. Has the measurements for the slides. It's really easy, compact, easy to use. You can put it on a hiking stick, mark it out, or put it on a broom handle or something like that. Mark out the different dimensions for your slides or whatever else you need to check. The other thing that we do when we're getting ready to leave is I go around and make sure that everything is secure. So even though this might be latched, I also have a carabiner on there so that this is secure. We're not gonna have that stinky slinky coming out when we're going down the road. It's double latched and it can't come undone when we're going down the road. I think things like that are crucial for that final walk around to make sure everything is secure. And that brings us to the next one, is having everything have a spot. So like our Stinky Slinky has this dedicated storage for it, so I don't have to go looking for the different elements that we need to be able to set up, the hoses, the pressure regulator, any of that stuff. They all have a place that they're always in when we're packing up, when we're leaving, when we're coming. It's easy to set up, it's easy to tear down, and it just makes it that much better. Planned and dedicated storage. Now we're just getting started on this list, but I really want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment down below after you've seen the video and you want to add something to this list, because you guys are amazing. This community is great. The things that you've been able to share here with other RVers is fantastic. So please share the information that you have to help other RVers. Let's get back to it. Next is the beloved awning. Ours isn't working right now. The wires got pinched last time we put it in. I gotta fix that. But leaving your awning out when it's getting windy or a storm's coming, or you leave and wind does come and ruin it, that's kind of a newbie mistake. It's one that's easy to forget, having the awning out when wind is coming. So make sure to put your awning in when it's gonna be windy or when you're leaving the RV, so that way it doesn't get ruined. While we're talking about the awning, it rained a little bit later, and so another thing you can do is tip it so that the rain water is gonna come off. It's a nice little drizzle right now. If I wanted to hang outside and enjoy the rain, I can do that and not have it pull up on there. Yes, some of them do auto dump, and sometimes the auto dump doesn't work and you end up ruining your awning. So having it tipped to the one side is gonna let the water run off and not pull up on it and have all that weight break it. Now, the next one on our list is doing your due diligence. So before you hit the road, checking your route, whether that's for weather, to make sure that the weather conditions are gonna be good, or it's checking the physical route itself to make sure that you don't have any low clearances or that the roads are gonna be able to accommodate the RV you have. But checking that is really gonna keep you safe on the road. The other thing that you can do is to check your tires. That's definitely a pro move. Honestly, tires are one of those things that you can't really over check. So checking them before you hit the road, making sure they have the proper PSI, the proper inflation in them, but checking the date code on them to make sure that they're not too old if you need to be able to replace them. But then a tire monitor system is great, because then you can continue checking them and monitoring them as you drive. But another thing that I do that I think is a key point is checking it even when you're in the middle of a drive and you're going to fuel up. I usually do a quick walk around the RV and the truck to see how the tires are doing. If I see anything abnormal, I kind of check the suspension. I'll just kind of duck down and look to the other side, check the backs of the tires, because you rely on the tires and the wheels so much to be able to get down the road reliably. This area is just vitally important to good RVing. So also wheel maintenance and all that, just having the maintenance done on your RV is really key, especially in this area. If you're keeping score today, definitely give yourself bonus points if you check your spare tire regularly. That's definitely worth some bonus points. It's definitely a pro move when you check the seals on the outside of your RV. Having water damage and delamination, all that destruction in your RV, you're just not gonna be able to use it as long. Definitely not a good scenario. So checking them around the pieces of trim, definitely up on the roof, just making sure that the water penetration that's trying to happen on your RV doesn't happen, stopping that before it gets in there. The other thing that we've done here is my wife is officially addicted to collecting stickers. She loves collecting stickers to all the places that we go to. The only problem is we have to keep this RV forever because I don't think she can part with them. And we have, I think, run out of room. But that's another problem for another day. There is another grouping of things that you should check regularly. That would be fire extinguishers and your alarms. You do not want your propane, smoke detector, or carbon monoxide alarm to fail you when you actually need it. And the alarms actually will have date codes on them so that you can replace them. Ours has a 60-month expiration on the propane alarm, so make sure that all those alarms are not only functional, but within their date code so that they're going to be operational. On the fire extinguisher, there's a couple of different things you can do. There's a gauge on the front, and from the manufacturer, I saw that that's what they recommend to seeing if this is still operational, is to check that gauge to make sure it's in that good section. If it's not, it's time to replace it. But there's one problem. There's actually more to the story of the fire extinguisher. You're going to be asking the question in the comments down below, but Jared, aren't you flipping this upside down so you can hear the powder get fluffed inside? So that way you know it's not caked at the bottom and being operational. Well, you can do that if you would like to. One manufacturer actually recommends that you don't do that. But the old style of fire extinguishers used to get caked at the bottom and then some moisture would get in there. And then you'd go to use it and nothing would actually... I lost the pin out of this thing. Whew, this thing is live right now. But the old style used to get caked down at the bottom and then it wouldn't work anymore. So you wanted to actually fluff it to make sure that stuff was operational in there and was not just caked at the bottom, stuck in there. So the way that they do the compaction tests on this is it doesn't allow that to happen anymore. So the manufacturers even say that if you flip it upside down, you listen for it and you put it back, in about 5 minutes it's going to be in the exact same state, or you go a mile down the road, it's going to be exactly the way that it was before. So you can flip it upside down if you want to, just don't damage it in the process. But if you look at the manufacturer recommendations, I actually put the majority of them on here on the side. You can see more online, or the NFPA. So they say to make sure that this is not clogged, that the nozzle is going to be clean, and check to make sure that this is in the charged position. You can see this one is not. So this one needs to be replaced. That's why we have a new one in there. But yeah, just checking to make sure that this is ready to go, because when you do need one, you do not want this to fail on you. Now this one is vitally important and it's being prepared for failures. There's going to be something eventually that fails on the RV. So there's things like this jump start device that we have that we carry with us. We've been able to jump our 3500 diesel truck off of this small jump start device. We've also been able to help other people out of sticky situations where you don't have to worry about jockeying your vehicle around. You can give them a jump start and get them back on the road. We have triangles and vests in case we break down on the side of the road. We can have some visibility and help keep people from running into the back of us when we're in those emergency situations. You can check out our video that we've done on tools and all the stuff that we carry in the truck. Those things really help us get out of sticky situations when things do fail, because they will eventually fail. I think a tip that I'm going to give to myself right now is don't stand in the sun when it's really hot outside. So now this is where you can help some of the other RVers out there. Something that you have learned that have helped you leave those newbie tendencies behind, leave that down in the comments. It's just going to help other RVers out there to enjoy this process even more. So I hope something in this video helps you out in some way. So I think that's going to do it for today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will. See you next video.